Hi, this is Simon and Aaron with Assets and Arbitrage. We hope you guys had a great weekend. We have an interesting show for you today. Simon came across a really interesting article that we wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah, we wanted to go over this article. For the last 2 weeks, we had some people on the
Yeah.
show, so we wanted to get that in. But this was an article we really wanted to talk about. So now we have an article here from Bitcoin Magazine. So, an article is titled Bitcoin is Mathematically Perfect with Patterns of the Universe. So, we thought that was very interesting, with us being scientists and doing research in that level. We said, well, let's look deeper into this. So, let's talk about who we're dealing with. So, it's a op-ed op-ed or opinion editorial by a young woman named Ella Hoff. She is a student at Cornell University. She is pursuing a degree in cognitive science and moral psychology. So let's go into what she has to say. So she says, recently, I've been looking into some of the numbers associated with Bitcoin. While I haven't exactly come to an overarching conclusion, I find that the very common presence of 0, 1, 2, 6 together fascinating, along with the numbers 3 and 9. So that is very, very, very interesting. The reason for my fascination came after reading the following quote and explanation by Nikola Tesla's theory that if you only knew the magnificence of 3, 6, and 9, then you would have the key to the universe. So, do you want to say anything on that?
So, I do want to say this for those of you who are not big into science and math, just understand that the scientists who map out the universe, so your astrophysicists, physicists in general, your chemists,
Yep.
cosmologists, et cetera, they utilize math in order to postulate theories, in order to prove hypotheses, and in order to detect patterns that I would like to call occultic, right?
Okay.
They're not necessarily easy to see, but they utilize math and numbers in order to detect patterns and in order to make them more visible, more apparent, and easier to observe.
Okay.
So, what Ella is doing in her article is she noticed, now she's not a math student, but I'm sure she's a math major. Just based on this article, she has to be. She's utilizing math and numerology in order to detect something very specific about Bitcoin. She feels like, and her postulation is that Bitcoin is a significant key to the universe.
Okay.
Where Tesla's theory is that the numbers 3, 6, and 9 can be detected in multiple aspects of the universe rooted in manifestation.
Yes, indeed. So we go back to our good brother, Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, who will say that mathematics is the language of the universe. So, we have to be on top of our mathematics and our arithmetic, if you will. So what we're going to do, we're going to go down here. Like she said, 0, 1, 2, and 6. These are very important numbers, right? So let's break it down. We're going to get to our conspiracy theory on this one.
Okay.
So you got 6102 on the year 2016. We have the executive order is signed. Oh no, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys, I misspoke. Executive Order 6102 is an executive order signed by the President of the United States, Franklin D. Roosevelt, on April 5th, 1933, forbidding the people of hoarding of gold coin, gold bullion, and gold certificates within the continental United States. So this required all persons before May 1st, 1933, to turn in their gold bullion. Is there anything you want to say about that?
Yes. So we have Executive Order 6102, like Simon said. It was prohibited by the President of the United States, was
Mm-hmm.
prohibiting the common people from
Mm-hmm.
hoarding gold. Now remember, in 1933, gold was the perfect sound money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If you had a promissory note for $1, you had the gold
Yes.
to back that $1 at 100% at this time.
Yes.
And he's basically saying, even if it's your gold, it's our gold. So what did the United States do? They confiscated the gold.
Confiscated.
When you look at the juxtaposition between this perfect sound money in 1933 and the perfect sound money we have today, which is Bitcoin, aka digital gold or gold 2.0,
Yeah.
what is one of the number one characteristics of Bitcoin that we love? That it cannot be confiscated.
Yeah.
So you're seeing the juxtaposition and the manifestation of a new monetary era, right? Because again, 369 is rooted in manifestation. We're going to go into that in a little bit for you guys after we talk about the 0126, because it's important for you to understand the correlation between the 369 manifestation key to the universe and the 0, the 2, the 1, and the 6 manifestation aspect of Bitcoin in our universe.
Okay.
So I'll let you go to the next one, baby.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So then this is part of the article. So we talk about Nikola Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
We say, what does Tesla have to do with 369? Okay, so you say in this article today, Tesla's 369 theory has new life thanks to an unlikely source, TikTok, which is weird. Their users seek to achieve their goals by using a simple method they write down and what they manifest, like a promotion, for example, 3 times the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times in the evening. So this is something that some of the newer people that we talked about, millennials and who
Gen
Zs, are using Nikola Tesla's 369 theory. So the 369 theory is very important. You'll see it in numerology.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see it in science. Is there any other thing that you wanted to say about it? I had a couple other things up here, but is there anything you want
that
to
way
say?
I don't double.
Oh, okay. So as far as what his 369, it was just he had an obsession. So as they say, it began with his fixation on the numbers, and he would come through and said that it could hold the universe, which is very interesting. The theory has been co-opted and expanded upon everyday people who hope to improve their lives by manifesting their desires through repeatedly writing them out. So that is that's probably one of the biggest things of the 369 theory.
Mm-hmm. So to understand 369 deeper and why Tesla feels it was the key to the universe is because 369 is rooted in energy, frequency, and vibration. So for all of my Sunday school people, y'all who know y'all Bible, if we wanted to take the Holy Trinity, because understand that energy, frequency, and vibration is the Holy Trinity of science in a sense, right? If you wanted to take that in an allegorical fashion, we'll go back to Genesis, the beginning, the manifestation period of the universe.
Indeed.
Right? You have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Energy, frequency, and vibration. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. I know that I'm quoting the New Testament, but I can go back to the Old Testament as well. God said, "Let there be light." When God spoke, when he commanded, right? Because God is the energy. When he spoke, when he commanded that there be light, light is energy, for those of you who aren't aware of these things. When he spoke, that's a frequency. When we speak, that is a frequency that we're speaking at. There's a frequency to our voices. There's a frequency to things being created. And then in the next verse, you have, and the Spirit of God, or the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost, however you want to call her, and the Spirit of God hovered upon the waters. How would you know something was hovering over water? Because you can detect it by seeing the vibration of the water, the water movement, right? And that particular verse is intrinsic in understanding that a physical change is now taking place over the earth. This is the manifestation of something that was not, now it is, because it talks about the earth being void, right, and empty, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. All right, Aaron, enough Bible study. How do these two correlate? Bitcoin has several intrinsic characteristics that are very similar to God. We are talking about Bitcoin is immutable. I remember the first time you sat and explained it to me. I said, did you use the word immutable? Because that's so weird. I said, God's immutable, and that's the only time I've heard that term for that particular thing. I'd never heard it outside of God. It is unchanging. It is, it was, and it will always be. Max Kaiser says all the time that long after humans are gone, Bitcoin's going to be rolling.
Yeah, they're going to be rolling with AI.
Right? The sound gold. In the Bible, for those of you who are familiar with your Bible, gold is the physical representation of wisdom. This is why you pay a plumber to fix your plumbing, right? You are paying him for his knowledge base and his expertise. You are essentially paying for his wisdom. It is, I am taking your intrinsic wisdom and I'm giving you physical wisdom in its place. It's a debt and a credit.
Yes, indeed.
So we just want to kind of share with you today, utilizing this article, the intrinsic value of Bitcoin. But this young lady, Ellie, she does it in such a way she's able to postulate it using sound math.
Yes,
and numbers in order to detect the pattern.
Yes, indeed. It's something we didn't go into, but we'll let's jump into it. We talked about the numbers. The numbers are 0, 1, 2, and 6. So that is that's important in Bitcoin mining because the apparently the difficulty is updated every 2016, right? Which is the reverse of 6102 blocks to show a reversal in history. So that is it's a mathematical property. The numbers, like she said, mathematics is the language of the universe. So when you see things like that, you have to take them into consideration. It's decentralized, but the numbers do remain the same. Is something you want to say about that?
So when Bitcoin's updated, its difficulty mining is being updated every 2016 blocks. This is called an epoch difficulty.
Yes,
all right?
It is.
And this is the security mechanism that keeps Bitcoin secure. It keeps it scarce because ultimately that scarcity, keeping it at that finite amount, is what contributes to its value as sound money, as perfect sound money.
Perfect sound money. So as my beautiful wife tell me, what are and when we're talking about money, so for people who may not know, what are the characteristics of money? People call the dollars in your pocket money, but what's money, this real money? What are the characteristics of money?
Let's see if I pass the test.
As postulated by Aristotle.
Okay, so we have divisibility. It's able to be divisible. Right? You can break it into change and stuff like that.
Yes, indeed.
You have universal, where you can be recognized universally. Right? So if I take my dollar to a store from New York to California, that store in California recognizes the money.
Yes.
Right? So universally recognizable, fungibility. Oh, did I say fungibility?
Fungibility. That's good.
Divisibility, scarcity.
Scarcity.
Which cash does not have scarcity. Especially the US dollar ain't got no scarcity.
No, because it can be printed, and and the other two, just to get out of here, is has to be Durable and portable.
Durable and portable. I would have missed
Durable
those.
and portable. So
Okay.
when you have, I mean, and I think people who are invested in Bitcoin understand this stuff because Bitcoin, it enhances on all these principles.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so the only thing that fiat currency is not,
Certainly not
it's
scarce.
not scarce.
And really, when we talk about portability,
Hmm.
I don't know where my phone is, but I can have $10 million in Bitcoin
Yeah,
in my pocket.
yeah,
I can't carry $10 million worth of cash in my pocket, in my luggage. Even at the airport, for those of you who don't travel much and you're not aware of this, you can't even have 10,000 US dollars on you in the airport. They have these machines that detect
yeah, yes, indeed.
large cash.
Hmm.
You know what I want to say? Like large amounts of cash. That's what I want to say. I just like I've been drinking today. Large amounts of cash, and they will stop you, and you do have to declare it.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we're traveling, we have to stand behind the one person who I swear has like $40,000 on them. It's a lot of money. We sit and count with them. I'm not pocket watching, but if you're going to count the money, I just want to make sure you ain't trying to, do those
Hmm.
switcheroo on the poor person who's got all that cash and is already nervous with all of the people going through their money. So yeah, Bitcoin is absolute sound money. It is digital gold 2.0. It is almost technologically sound
Right.
because something tangible and physical cannot be technologically sound.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, like, good brother Anthony Pompliano
Huh.
says is, or Robert Breedlove, they just say that it's an upgrade of gold. It's gold 2.0, right? That's what
Mhm.
they say. It's a digital version of a former analog version.
Yeah.
And anytime you have a digital version of something that's analog, it's always a better
It's always a better
a
version. It's
better
always
version.
optimized.
It's always optimized, right? So that's what we're talking about,
Mhm.
today. She wants to go into something else. Uh oh.
You want
She
to do it?
got more
I
information.
do.
I'm
So we're still
sorry.
on the 0, the 1, the 2, and the 6, right?
She got more
How
information.
many Bitcoin?
21 million.
21 million Bitcoin. So here you have
Mm,
the 2, you have the 1, and
okay.
you have the zeros, right? But how many zeros do you have? You have 6. So when you look at it just on the surface, you can see the 0, the 1, the 2, and the 6
All right.
in this number. And it is the 21 million because that's such a oddly specific number.
It is.
Like
It is.
why did Sakamoto, why did he
It's Satoshi.
Satoshi, thank you. Why did
It's
Satoshi Nakamoto, why did he pick 21 million?
right.
Right? I would like to, it could have been 25 million, could have been 50 million, like rounder numbers that human beings are
Mm-hmm.
more prone to utilize, right? We
Mm-hmm.
like round numbers. We like 100,000. We don't want 107,595,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he picked 21 million, and you can see that in utilizing the math and utilizing the numbers, she was able to detect a very consistent, distinct pattern. Now, we only gave you 3 examples, but we just wanted to show you the intrinsic values of Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
I think we didn't mention it before, but how does the 369 correlate to 0, 1, 2, and 6?
Mm-hmm.
So when you have the 0, the 1, the 2, and the 6, 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 2 is 3, so there goes your 3, right? You
Yeah.
have the 6, which
Mm-hmm.
sits by itself, but when I add that 3 and the 6 together, I get the number 9.
Yeah.
This is why she was saying inside the
Mm-hmm.
0, 1, 2, and 6, I find the 369. They weave together
Mm-hmm.
as a key to the universe.
Yep.
Now, without doing her complicated math, she boils it down to Bitcoin is 64% the key to the universe.
Mm.
And we know 64 is a pretty big number. It's more than 50.
Well, and I mean, I'll go here because it has to be.
Go there.
We have to go there. So when she says 64% key to universe, if you understand, if you're into physics and things like that, you'll understand that dark matter is 64% of the universe,
Very specific.
and I think dark energy is 20. 6%? I'm sorry. Fact check me on that. But 5% of the universe is what they call fermions, which is the things that you can see. But dark matter and dark energy are the majority of the universe. So she's saying 64% of Bitcoin is the universe. So that means Bitcoin could be dark matter.
That's interesting.
So we're gonna get into a show of dark matter. I'm gonna try to get my brother Zoe Williams back on here. He want to chop it up about stuff like that. But yeah, 64% of the if it's Bitcoin, then it could be
a correlation.
Correlation with dark matter because there is an article, and we can put it in the description where it says that most of the dark matter is energy and it's information. And Bitcoin is energy and information. So these are things, we just trying to chop it up about. We don't know if it's
but again, 64% is the oddly specific. It's not 65%. It's not 75%, right? It's not 100%.
Nah.
So for the two to be exactly 64%, how could we not at least postulate a correlation between the two? And I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to remind you.
Okay.
Because you had that whole conversation with me about 3-4 weeks ago?
Yeah.
About dark matter, because I didn't know that.
Yeah, dark matter.
And it's 64%. So when we talk about the 369, it is rooted in manifestation, in creation. And I'm glad you brought up dark matter because when we go back to the Bible, it says, in the beginning, the earth was void and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Anybody who knows the story of the Big Bang, right? It doesn't matter what you believe in. Everything really tells the same exact story. It's darkness, right? We are, the original people are basically darkness. That's what melanin is. It's just darkness, right? So we want to talk to you guys just a little bit about the intrinsic value of Bitcoin. I know a lot of us spend a lot of time in a very physical world. So it's what I can see, it's what I can hear, it's what I can smell, it's what I can taste. But so little of your world is this logical, linear, physical place. So little of your world. It feels like your whole world is like that, but just a finite amount of your world that is actually this physical entity. There's a lot of our world that is very metaphysical, it's very spiritual. And Bitcoin, unlike fiat currency, falls within this particular category. Now, here's the thing I want to tell you, too, for those of you who, my Sunday school scholars, I'm going to keep calling on y'all. The Old Testament talks a lot about this physical world. And what God wanted the people to understand was, I'm utilizing the physical world in order to tell you a very accurate picture of what the spiritual world, the occultic world, the world you cannot see. I know a lot of you think occult means demonic. It does not. It just means you cannot see it. It's beneath the surface. It's something that's hidden from you. So this occultic world, the spiritual world, this world that you cannot see, something you cannot see, you cannot understand.
Right.
And I use the physical world in order for you to see and to understand it. I'm going back to gold now. So we have a very precious metal called gold. Gold is also finite. It's not as finite as Bitcoin, but it is a non-renewable resource, right? It takes stardust to fall upon the planet in order for us to make more gold. And the way we're mining the hell out of it, putting it in things that we're not reusing and so on and so forth, it's only exacerbating its finite ability. Okay, so you have the gold. You guys use gold to transfer, to make transactions and so on and so forth. Then they change from gold to currency, yada, yada, yada. And now we're back almost 360 degrees to a new gold.
Yes.
Which is Bitcoin. Okay, it's a digital gold. It is perfect sound money. Whatever properties gold had in its antiquity, Bitcoin's even better. Okay, it's gold on steroids.
It's gold 2.0.
Absolutely. So it's perfect in its scarcity. It's perfect in its divisibility because it's even more divisibility than cash or anything you have in your checking account digitally. It has perfect fungibility, portability. I think I'm missing the other two. I'm always missing two.
Divisibility.
Said that.
Yeah.
I said divisibility, fungibility, portability, durability,
Durability
and whatever else I'm
scarcity.
missing, and scarcity, right?
And
Because it's
fungibility.
perfectly finite.
Right.
So we want to be able to see this and be able to appreciate it. Because what's happening is we're getting distracted by the markets down and inflation's running away and all of these horrible apocalyptic things are happening in the world, right? And we begin to lack the appreciation we initially had for Bitcoin.
Mm.
So what we want to do today is we wanted to bring this metaphysical property to you. Simon wants to talk a little bit more with you about some of its intrinsic value so that we can maybe renew your appreciation for this particular thing that isn't just money and physical property.
Okay, yes, indeed. So, yeah, she broke it down right there. I wanted to correct myself, is what I was saying about dark energy and dark matter. I think I had them transposed, but dark matter is about 27%, where dark energy is 65%. So I think I said that backwards, so I just want to correct that. 5% are fermions, what we call, all the things we can see, electrons, protons, neutrons.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we have to talk about that because dark energy, as it is 60, I don't know, I'm looking 68% when they say that dark energy is information.
Yes.
And when how somebody says, what did you say, 64% of Bitcoin is what?
Is the key to the universe.
Yeah, so that's a lot of information because Bitcoin is information as you break it down on the as far as you deal with it on the blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be information there, and so I just wanted to clear that up. I'm sorry I had misspoke. I had flipped those, but sometimes it's hard to remember. But
I want to say one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, when God said, that's information.
Yeah.
Right? It's information. And as he's creating the trees, he's creating the sun, he created the moon and the planets and the this and that. It's information. It's all information.
Mm-hmm.
DNA, we as biological organic beings, all we are is just the DNA strung up. It's a whole bunch of information that creates you as a being. You're going to be beautifully brown skinned. You're going to have, hazel eyes. You're going to have a dimple in your left cheek. You're not going to have a dimple.
Right.
You're going to have dark hair. She's going to have blonde hair. Mm-hmm. We are just information. That's all we are. We're carbon beings created out of information. It's what your DNA and RNA is.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is information. And it's optimized information because, not that our DNA doesn't do it, but we'll talk about that.
Yep.
When the epoch difficulty is having on the blockchain, this mining difficulty is happening. You got to remember information's being scanned.
Yep.
Stuff's happening in order to make it the most secure thing available before it churns it out and gives it to you. Mm-hmm. Your DNA does the same thing.
Yes, indeed.
Right? You have these scanners, your body's restoring itself, it's killing off dead cells, getting rid of dead cells, making new cells. That manifestation is happening in you every single day. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's why I'm telling you, Bitcoin, unlike physical gold, unlike fiat currency or anything we've ever seen before,
right,
is showing you its godly intrinsic value. Mm-hmm. Right? That blockchain really doesn't look any different than how your DNA begins to scan itself, unstring, add, delete, right? In your body, in your cells and stuff. Mm-hmm. I know we sound crazy. We are Aquarian, but do the math. Just do some of the research. Look at the math. Look at the math that they postulate for you. Look at the numbers, right? Men lie, women lie. Sometimes numbers can be manipulated, but patterns don't lie.
Yeah, they don't lie.
And the numbers are too specific to not show something that's right under beneath the surface, as the
Mm.
Jizzle would say, scratch beneath the surface,
Mm.
right? And
Yeah.
see what you can see. Did we have any other points we wanted to make?
No,
But I
I
didn't
didn't want
think
to
we
make any
did.
points. I just thought, that's a good, just want to chop up some good game. That was a
Mm-hmm.
good article and let's shout her out again.
It's
Her
Ella.
name, her name is Ella. Hold on, let me get. I want to get
Yeah, so we can
the
say right.
particulars. So,
Yeah, we stay watching people's names.
her name is
Ella.
Ella Huff, and like I said, she's a student at Cornell University. She's pursuing a degree in cognitive science and moral psychology. And so we've reached out to her, and we may have her on the show. We could chop this up, so that she can, verify or explain how she wrote her article.
Explain deeply, yeah, because
Yeah,
she has the math. She could,
yeah,
and it's cognitive,
right.
which means she probably deals a lot with the brain.
Yeah, so we're gonna reach out to her and see if we can get her on here and have more clarity about this. But other than that, we just wanted to talk about that. Just kick some good Bitcoin game.
But I'm going to leave them with this because he did talk about the manifestation technique.
Okay.
For those of you who are interested in it, I'm going to tell you it works. Like, I won't even lie to you about that. I've done it for several things and it works. I really should get back to it for some other things. But the manifestation technique that they talk about on TikTok, and it could be psychosomatic. It could be because I believe it works, it worked, right? So you could just do it just for that. But if you have a goal, make sure it's clear and concise, right? The universe likes clear and concise. It does not like lukewarm and it doesn't like vague. So if you were trying to get a promotion at work, say, I'm grateful that I make $200,000. Doesn't mean you're going to get the $200,000, but something's going to pop. And you make the correlation for my yearly salary. Very clear, very concise. This is what I want. My eyes on this ball. You write that 3 times in the morning. You write that 3 times in the afternoon. I'm sorry, 6 times in the afternoon and 9 times at night. Y'all don't listen to him. And you do that for a substantial amount of period. And what they were saying is the time that you're taking to focus in the morning, the time that you take to focus the 6 times in the afternoon, and the 9 times before you go to bed at night, because that's depositing directly into your subconscious. That is what brings about the manifestation of whatever it is you're targeting. Be a scientist, test it out, try it, give it at least 30 days, 60 days, 90 days before you make an assessment or judgment is what I want to say. And because it is rooted in manifestation, it works. And we just want to show you that Bitcoin too is rooted in manifestation, and that's why it is going to work. We are at the beginning of the manifestation of a new monetary era. I don't know how many of you guys have been following the news, so I'm just gonna put these things out there. The Vatican put out a what would you call it? Like a declaration.
Okay.
All of their assets and all of the Catholic churches around the world, they need to report and send all of their assets to Vatican City by September 30th. That's big. And it has to make you say, with their holdings, why? What are y'all about to do with all of that money? 2, London had a silver reserve with 1 billion ounces of silver.
Yes, indeed.
I don't know if you can fathom 1 billion physical ounces of silver. And the silver, I don't know if they're not reporting where it's going or if they don't know where it's going. Like when I'm reading the articles, I feel like they don't know where it's going and don't want to tell you where it went. But the silver is disappearing.
Yes.
Right? I don't know if they're doing something else with it and they don't want to tell you that's what they're doing, or if it's being stolen. I'm not really sure what the situation is. But just understand the gravity of 1 billion ounces, even going down to 990 ounces. That's a big deal. Where's all that silver going? What are you doing with it?
Right. Yes, indeed. So this is, and this is a channel
Thank you, babe.
we're talking about, usually cryptocurrency and things like that.
But this is important because
yeah,
it's part of the physical monetary reset.
it is.
Because the Vatican's assets are also physical. It's gold, it's silver, it's cash. And they are the London. What did you say it is, babe? The London. It's the LMB. It's the LBMA in London, and they have a physical silver reserve. And I'm talking about the Vatican City, which is right next door. It's not Italy, but because it's its own sovereign region. But these are some of the oldest entities. I mean, going back to the Catholic. When they had the popes and stuff, because they worked together at that time. So there's a significant amount of old wealth, which is more valuable than the current wealth we have. I want y'all to understand that. A silver ounce from 1085 is worth more than a silver ounce minted today. You guys just have to know that up front. So it's a significant amount of wealth that's being transferred,
it's being moved around
and consolidated into one physical place. What are y'all doing with it?
Yeah, and just so for the people who want to know, the LMBA, it stands for the London Bullion Market Association. So that there's a lot of wealth over there, precious metals, and so that that's how they get down over there. And these are things you got to keep your eye on, and as far as how money is being moved around and things like that. So,
and in the event of the Queen's death, you guys are noticing they're doing significant inventories on all of the precious jewels.
Yes.
Not just the gold and stuff, but the precious jewels. She's got that big heart-shaped, clear-cut diamond that belongs to South Africa and so on and so forth. People are demanding the wealth back to their country. So we want to see if the wealth gets lost in the transfer to that country, which I'm suspecting is going to happen. But it's a changeover now, right? It's a changing of the guard. Monetarily, monetary policy resets are taking place. We're talking about the sabotage of Bitcoin in some of the countries that have the project Bitcoin. And it's sabotage. Let's be honest, that's what we're looking at. With the prices being suppressed in the market and so on and so forth. So it's really important that as influencers, we keep each other notified and informed about not just what's happening in the community with Bitcoin, because it's easy to laser vision in, but what's happening with the physical wealth globally. What's happening with currencies? What's being propped up? What is collapsing completely? And those are the things we want to keep our eye on as well. But that's it.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, that's it. We want to chop up some good game with you guys. Like we said, what do you want to talk about?
What, babe?
I don't know.
I told them, y'all better watch these people with this money at the Vatican and in London and the Queen's jewels. And them ain't her jewels. Y'all know it's not.
Okay.
But you want to start just having an eye out for what's happening with the physical transfer of wealth and the physical changing of the guard with monetary policy. King Charles III, he has taken reign. He is doing the most, honey. Can't move nothing off the desk himself. He's firing people. But we want to see how him being in power now changes monetary policy. Right? And just in addition to his face being now put on stuff, we want to see, okay, this is a change. What's this going to bring about? And so on and so forth. Especially as we're inching forward to where the last Bitcoin is going to be mined in 2025 or 2026?
2140.
2140.
What they say is the last Bitcoin will be mined in 2140.
And it feels like that's far away. It's not.
It's not.
We got married yesterday. It's been over 20 years. So it come quicker than you think.
But
something's supposed to happen in 2025, 2026. Bitcoin's supposed to be $1 million or something.
Well, I mean, they say by 2030.
2030.
But that would be the collapse of the U.S. dollar. So
you think we have that long?
I mean, I just said that's not a good thing. if the U.S. dollar collapses. But like I said, everybody wanted Bitcoin to go to a certain price, but I say there's going to be a
Consequences.
consequence on the back end that the dollar is going to collapse. So we try to have a
Nice round
yeah,
basket.
even keel of how
Nice
we're gonna do
diverse
it.
basket of stuff just in
Yeah,
case.
yeah, that so that might happen, but no. 2140 is when the last Bitcoin is supposed to be mined, as said by other people. So we'll go there with that. We had a good show, good chopped up good game, chopped up some good game. Is there anything else you want to say?
Well, we appreciate you guys joining us every single week, and we will see you next week.
Yes, indeed. We out of here. We out of here. Salute.